For today, we have an exciting class. We'll start with introductions. My name is Jeremy Capone. I'm the wellness chef for Cancer Rehab and Survivorship at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center. And join us always the amazing registered dietitian, Daniela Fiorini. Hello.
Hi. So happy New Year. And yes, Daniela Fiorini, registered dietitian. Been around this place for decades. Anyway, so this is our first demo of 2025, and we thought it would be a great way to kick off the year with talking about some nutrition myths. And our first myth that we'll be talking about is detox diets, right? You hear it everywhere right now, especially January after the holidays. And actually, it's pretty much a billion-dollar industry when you're thinking about the supplements that people take or joining programs. And I read that just the global detox drink alone industry is expected to grow from $5 billion US dollars to $10 billion US dollars by 2032. So you can see how crazy that is, right? So our first one is going to be on detox diets. Do we really need them to flush the dangerous poisons out of our bodies? Our second myth is another common one we hear a lot about. It's growth hormones in our meat products. Does it cause us illness? Does it make us sick? And our last is one we probably hear with every session we do, and is that sugar feeds cancer. So Jeremy has whipped up 3 tantalizing recipes. Tantalize the taste buds. We love our alliteration here. But it'll also serve as a guide to separate fact from fiction. So our first recipe is a creamy spinach soup. And this scrumptious soup is full of fiber, fluid, and phytochemicals. Okay, I have too many alliterations going on. These are key properties that support our body's natural detox system. Okay, so we don't need to do the expensive diets. We don't need to do the restrictive detox diets to flush toxins out. Our body already does that for us. It is a detox machine when we take into account our digestive system, our liver, our kidneys, our skin, our heart, our lungs. And staying well hydrated and having fiber-rich foods is one way of making sure that we keep our body, our digestive system working efficiently, right? We want to make sure we clear out our bowels regularly so we don't have toxins, sitting in our gut. The fiber-rich foods also feed the healthy bacteria in our gut, which help with our immune system, our brain health. And then the phytochemicals, the naturally occurring chemicals found in food that we talk about as brightly colored. So here we have the bright green going on. And we have some yellow there. That also is part of it too. Help neutralize the toxins that build up in the body. And that helps our liver and kidneys, which are filters that remove toxins. But you know what? That's enough talk about toxins. We want to get to the food. So I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy.
This is the perfect pairing. So this is one of my favorites. I love talking about these nutrition myths. And Danielle has some great tips. So we're going to pair with the first myth with this delicious soup, like you mentioned. What I love about this soup is we're using some ingredients that pretty accessible. One of my favorites is frozen spinach. I think frozen spinach gets overlooked. It is such an easy add to different dishes. You can add it to smoothies, obviously. This is going to be the star of our soup for today. And then before we get to the frozen spinach, we will work on some flavor. So I have a pot, medium pot, a little bit of olive oil, medium heat, and I'm going to add some garlic cloves, which I've just crushed in advance. I know we've talked about this before. Love this little trick. Prepping your onion and your garlic first. Number one, it's going to start to activate the aromas. And you can feel, especially with garlic, that sort of tackiness, that stickiness. But then, nutrition tip.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if I should throw it out to the audience. We have some people that have been with us a while. Yeah? Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Do you want to answer? Yeah? Okay.
No.
Do you want me to answer? Okay, that was me answer. Okay. So what it does, it also activates an enzyme. So crushing the garlic or cutting the onion activates an enzyme, and this enzyme develops an antioxidant. Antioxidants are good. They help to fight unstable molecules in the body. But this enzyme needs 10 minutes before you add it to heat to fully develop this antioxidant called allicin. So prepping in advance, at least 10 minutes, helps you get the benefit of that antioxidant called allicin.
Love that. And we'll continue to share that. All right, so olive oil, medium heat, and I've added my garlic cloves. Any other aromatics you can add at this point: onion, celery, carrots, whatever you like, whatever you have. I'm keeping it very, very simple. I'm showing you sort of the base of this recipe, and then you can sort of build as you would want. I love garlic, so I've got 4 cloves in there. You can obviously pare that back as well. If you like the taste of garlic, you don't do so well digesting the garlic because it can be a little problematic. Leave it in its mostly whole state, just like I did. Once it does its job of imparting all that flavor into your fat, which I'm using the olive oil here, you can actually remove the cloves afterwards and set them aside. So you'll have the flavor, but you don't have to eat the garlic. Okay. So a couple minutes, just until we get some color. And then I'm going to add a couple ingredients which is going to give us the creaminess of this soup. I'm not actually adding any dairy or cream to the dish to make it creamy, although you can. And this is where you can sort of play around with calorie intake if you need more, if you need less, right?
Calorie intake, protein intake.
Yeah. So for this, we're going to be using, to give it that nice creaminess, a really, really nice texture, adding a little bit of potato. Thank you. A little bit of potato, just peeled, ready to go. I would use something in the waxier potato category because I feel like it gives it this really nice sort of texture, this really nice creaminess. It breaks down a little better versus like a starchy, like a russet potato or a baking potato. So like your Yukon Gold, your white and yellow potatoes, those would be really great for this. So once we have a little bit of color with my garlic cloves, I can go ahead and add potato to this.
This is where I like to play. Oh, it was really quick. Okay.
Get ready for the next one. Get ready for the next one.
Okay.
And then some lentils as well. These are like dal. These are like split dal. You can use split peas, like split pea soup. Those ones are great. Actually, that's what I have in my recipe. They'll take probably the longest to cook. So it might take like about 25 minutes simmering. These dal will take like maybe 15 minutes. And then your red lentils, your split red lentils will be even quicker. It'll be like 10, 12 minutes. Yes?
Do you need to soak those?
You don't need to soak them. That's the beautiful thing about our split dal and our lentils. No need to soak. We're ready to use as is. I usually just give them a rinse because they come out of a package, but other than that, no prep necessary at all. So just
I really want to go to the pot. Oh, that doesn't go to the pot. There we go. No, you can't really. Can you hear it sizzle though? There we go.
There you go. Hot pan. So I'm going to go ahead and add the dal in here. And then we can cover with some broth, veg broth. Daniela really loves the remotes for the camera.
Yeah.
And we're just going to cover it. You can use veg broth, chicken broth, whatever you like. About 4 cups.
And aren't you always impressed about how clean his area is?
This is the beginning of the show. By the end,
stove.
it might look like that. So that's pretty much it. We have our aromatics of the garlic. We have our starchier vegetables. We have our potato and our lentils, which we'll cook down. Let that simmer. So lid on top. I'm going to turn it down to medium low. And we're going to let that simmer just until the potatoes are nice and soft. And if you're using the split peas or if you're using lentils, until those are nice and soft. Once that's done, we can go ahead and add our green vegetables. Okay, I'm adding frozen spinach because it's just super easy. Even the block spinach, which tends to be, I think, cheaper out of the two. Like if you have the bag chopped one, and they're great. They're really, really good. They last forever in the freezer, and then you can just throw it in. Obviously, I'm adding frozen. It will cool down the broth. Just bring it back up to a simmer, and then a couple minutes with the spinach. You don't need long. And then right at the end is when I would add, if I'm adding any fresh herbs, I'm going to add it right at the end because I want to keep that really, really nice vibrant green color. But as soon as I add the herbs, I take it off from the heat, and then I'm good to go with blending.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yes, there's a
Is
question.
there anything special about, is it frozen or will fresh spinach operate the same way?
Fresh spinach is just as good, absolutely. We love frozen just for the accessibility of it.
And the ease. Yeah,
And the ease.
And some people just find it difficult to, whether it's neuropathy or fatigue, there's difficulty in working with raw fruits and vegetables. So we give the option. Some people have avoided frozen thinking it doesn't have as much nutrition, but it's just as nutritious as raw. So you can use either or, fresh.
Yeah.
Another question.
If I throw in, I can just throw in that block of frozen that you can buy in a package. Like, you don't have to thaw it and then put it.
No.
It's just, it's gonna be melted in.
Exactly. Yeah. If you break it down before you throw it in or defrost it, it'll just come back up to a simmer a little bit quicker. But you're putting the time in to chop it, so it doesn't really matter, right? So it might take like an extra minute or so just to come up to temp. And we're doing that at the end anyways, which is just saves us time. So this is what needs to get soft and cook. This we just need to sort of bring up to temperature, and then we're good to go and blend it. Okay, blending it because of the potato, because of those split peas or those lentils, it's going to give this really, really nice creamy texture. So I made one here in advance, and I'll start plating it. Do you have any more tips?
Yeah, for sure. So another way, we were talking about detox diets, and one of the easiest ways to detoxify the body or even prevent toxins from getting into the body is reducing alcohol intake. And how many of you have heard of dry January, right? That's when you completely give up all alcohol. So that's great if you can do that, and if that works for you. But there's also something called damp January, and that might be a little bit more realistic for some people, right? So damp January really is similar to reducing intake instead of going completely abstaining from alcohol. So you can make goals for yourself, more realistic goals, like maybe it's I'll just drink, have one drink per week when I'm with a social gathering, just to kind of decrease it slowly. And
May I have your attention, please? Code blue, all clear. Ethan Wing,
Good.
first floor, cardiac.
That's good that it's all clear.
Code blue, all clear. Ethan Wing, first floor,
Whatever, little
cardiac.
pauses, little moments.
Code blue,
To digest that information,
Yes.
right?
First floor, cardiac CT.
And then just another tip, okay, there's been, is you also hear about juice cleanses. So we just talked about the importance of hydration and the importance of fiber and how that works together to detoxify the body. If you go on a juice cleanse, chances are you're not getting the fiber your body needs because you're removing all that fiber. And then what you're also getting in this, sorry, I'm going on.
No, perfect.
What you're also getting here is good protein, and protein is important for our immune system, for our muscles, maintaining muscles. And if you go in a juice cleanse again, you're not getting that protein. So this is preferred, as eating healthy is probably a better way of trying to get your organs to work properly and efficiently and detoxify the body naturally. Okay, now I'll smell.
What is the protein in that soup? What is it?
Good question.
Or the cheese?
No.
Lentil. Oh, the lentils.
The lentils. Yeah.
It's one of our favorites for like best bangs for your buck for protein. Those dry lentils. Again, ease of use. You don't have to prep them. You don't have to soak them right in. Does anyone know what country grows the most lentils in the world?
Canada!
Yes, you got it. 20 points in the front row.
Wow.
20 lentil points.
20 lentil. All right, so you can see the sort of consistency of the soup here. It's super creamy from the potatoes, from those lentils. So we have a green soup, like it's a spinach soup. Spinach soup doesn't sound like the most exciting soup, but this is going to have this really nice sort of satiating feeling because of the lentils, because of the potatoes. It's giving a little bit more texture, and it'll have this really, really nice.
Did you throw
It's
it all
quite
in
pretty.
Yeah, blender, or what is even easier are the hand blenders, the little immersion blenders. And
My
that way
favorite too.
Yeah, you can bring that right to the pot, and you just, like a little boat motor, you just blend it all up until it's nice and creamy. But that's it. Once those lentils and potatoes are cooked soft enough, you don't have to do much more from there, which is beautiful. Season to taste, maybe a little bit of salt and pepper at the end, and then I'm all about texture, so I like making these like little croutons. So if you have like a leftover bun in the freezer, I just throw it in the oven until it gets like really crunchy and hard. Slice it up, and then maybe toss it with some herbs, a little bit of olive oil, and that way have that creamy, smooth texture of the spinach soup.
Pretty.
And a few of these little.
What type of seasoning do you put on your croutons?
So this has some dried herbs. This was just dried parsley, but any dried herbs, a little bit of garlic powder, and a little bit of olive oil. And that's it. But you can, if you like a little spicier, you can put some chili flakes in there if you want. But here we
Very
have, just piled up high, our spinach soup. And again, this, I was trying to find more things to say. It's such a quick recipe. The hardest part is just waiting for those, the lentils to kind of soften up. But once everything is in the pot, it's more of a waiting game. And so we call this like non-active cooking. So, keep your timer on, but you don't have to be doing a ton of prep. Especially if you're using frozen vegetables, a lot of that work is already done for you. A lot of the heavy lifting is already done for you. So you peel one potato, and then you're pretty much just dumping stuff in.
And how about freezing this?
Oh,
Does
this
that?
would freeze exceptionally well.
Yeah.
It's mostly water volume. So even if you're cooking for one portion or two portions, go for the full batch, because this will freeze exceptionally well. It defrosts really well.
Okay.
Everything's blended, so texturally it'll be pretty much the same. And again, like if you're bored of leftovers day after day, by freezing it, you're stretching it out. So maybe I don't feel like the same soup that week, but maybe next month, hey, I've got that soup. I don't have to do the prep, especially if I don't have the energy to cook again from scratch. I have those meals ready to go. And I know we talk about it, we share it all the time, but
It's so cool. Like for those that are you not aware of this idea?
Yeah, so this is a little muffin tin. You can buy these online. You can get them at like kitchen stores as well. They're like silicone-based muffin tins. They're fantastic. Using them for leftovers. So once the soup cools, you ladle it in, pop this in the freezer until it's frozen solid, and then this is some broth I think I had earlier. But you have your little soup pucks portioned out, ready to go, and then you can transfer all of these into a freezer bag. And then just keep them until you need that quick little meal or snack. What's nice, this is a half cup portion. I have a full cup portion as well, so you sort of know how much is in there. So if you need one puck, or two, or three, you can use what you need. So great recipe to